Hello, welcome back to LiveENODING. In this episode, we're gonna take a look at a few nodes in Sverchok that's actually quite new, and it is called the bend object along path or bend object along surface. And I think the easier one is probably bend object along path. This is actually kind of similar if you have like some kind of object, like a text objects, and then you want to bend it, and you use the like a modifier, like a curve modifier. That's actually kind of similar, but this one you need to have some kind of curve, and then the object's gonna bend along the curve, something like that. Um, this one is very similar to that idea. So let's try doing this. I'm gonna save this as SV bend along curve or bend along path rather. So path can be anything. Let's see if this is simple to use. I haven't tried this one, so I'm gonna improve it. So this is virtual nodes. I just type whatever and gonna use objects in, get selections, test the viewer draw. The output's gonna be like that. So this is a text object, so the bending and things like that will be much better if you have like a better like a mesh. So you probably want to do like a remeshing, things like that. But for now, don't worry about that. We're just gonna do it. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, so we need to provide some kind of path. So let's draw like a path. So I will be using line. So by default, the line will also grow in X. So that's kind of perfect for what we are doing. So we have text that's kind of growing on the x-axis, and then we have path that's growing also in the x-axis. So it's gonna the text gonna go in there, and this goes in there, and now it's giving an error, wondering why. Size of provided objects along Z is too small. What does that mean? Oh, maybe this orientation needs to be in X. So, okay, so there you go. That's something seems to be happening if I'm changing the stepping of the point there. So let's see if I kind of deforming this line. Randomize input vertices. So I'm randomizing this line, and then you can see the effects. It's already something's happening there. That's kind of neat in itself. It's actually quite it's quite powerful. Definitely, it's like it's almost like like a different type of modifier that you can use. That's actually very cool. If only we can control the meshing, that's this effect's gonna be much better. So of course here we learned that the orientation matters, and you can select linear or cubic. Okay, linear seems to be. If linear doesn't work, maybe just select cubic. And you can control the scaling of all axes, and then there's options to make it cyclic. Well, cyclic is pretty cool. If you're doing it with a cyclic, you actually can kind of shift the points, if I'm not wrong. There you go. Anything that's cyclic, like a circle, you can kind of shift the points, and then you can control. You can kind of have a rotating text. So that's cool. So like I said, the path can be anything, not just line. It can be anything. Let me try plugging like a circle, for example. Circle, of course. Circle run in a different orientation. So okay, there you go. Yep, that's kind of the effects that I was thinking, and then you can kind of shift it along the path. So that's kind of nice. I wonder if I see if I make it larger, the text kind of just scaling. If I make the more vertices, it's kind of squeezing the text a little bit more. Scale axis. So I think we need to play around with this. Maybe we can rotate the text, for example. Let's try that. Rotation, Euler. So I'm rotating the text. Now the text is standing. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And then you can kind of shift the text. Oh, that's nice effects, you know. So normally it's not like something that's procedurally can be done. Okay, maybe you can do it using a curve modifier, but this is really handy because you can bring the text back, and here we can just change it to anything. You are watching Blender, and then just scrub it, and it's gonna update everything. So, and then you can randomize the points, which is whoa. So that's just an idea. Oh, that's really like randomizing the text. That's interesting. Maybe shouldn't do that. Should do it here. That's interesting. It's actually randomizing the circle in a weird way. Yeah, that's interesting. Didn't expect that. So anyhow, a circle seems to be working. That's nice effects. I like that. I can bake it, and then we get this. This is like a real mesh. You can solidify or whatever. Just an idea, and then you can, of course, go back to the line, and then maybe use like vector noise. I always do this. Line goes inside vector noise. Will always create a interesting kind of like a snake kind of effects like that. You see there? It's a bit tiny, but let me try make more points. See, that's kind of like the snake effect I was talking about. And we can use this vector math scale. Oh, where is it? Scale multiply by scalar. Scale it. And just plug this into our Blender. There you go. Now it's a text, a long path, and slightly more interesting. Let's try do this as well. Back here. So that's really like making the text goes around like a roller coaster. So this guy is cyclic, right? So we can there you go. It's going around like a roller coaster. Let's reduce the number of points still. So the points, oops, the number of points matters. Increasing the number of points. Whoa, okay. Make this smaller. Maybe I need a longer text or something. but you get the idea. Turn off scale all axis, you get that. It needs to have scale of all axis. Needs to be in X orientation as well. So that's, I guess, kind of cover the basic of a bend object along path. It should work with all kind of objects, not just like a text objects, but text object is easier to understand, I think. We can randomize the noise and you get all kind of variations. That's the usual thing. Increase the number. So now it's like a longer path. This one, yeah, it's very sensitive. 0.02. Maybe I can normalize it. No. Center. No. So yeah, basically here, so what we have here is just like, let's turn off cyclic. And also turn off leash shift, just simplify this a little bit. So here we have like a procedurally generated path, and this one based on the circle, but you can have all kind of any path, you pass it into this bend object along path, and it's gonna bend all the points. Yeah, let's try. I kind of want to have like a longer path, but I guess the text gonna be stretched as well, so we need like a longer text. So today is Saturday. View selected. Okay. Saturday. This is a late night live noding using random and Sverchok. Notes, updates, and yeah, now we have text along paths, which is a bit longer, and it's gonna stretch. That's looking a little bit nicer, I think. So I can bake this one, become not baking the curve. You can bake the curve as well. Baking the text, you get the text. So there you go. That's an interesting one. Just a quick example use of this bend object along path, but it can be for a lot of other purpose. Okay, hopefully this is useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you again. Bye.